Hello. Well, if it's been a while, welcome back. If it hasn't been very long, hello once again. So, we've already converted 10 feet per minute to centimeters per second previously. We've also done a previous example of converting 15 kilograms per meter square to pounds per foot square. Highly recommend you go back and visit those videos if you have questions on those. So, but now we're going to technically go ahead and proceed on to C, which is 45 grams per centimeter cube to pounds per inch cube. Oh boy, cube. Okay, so first step, once again, convert your fraction into a regular fraction format, 45 grams per centimeter cube. I'm just giving extra space so you can visually see the difference from the above, okay? Since they're a little too cramped. Okay, converting means to, I'm putting an arrow once again, and pounds per inch is what we want in the end, okay? We want to convert grams per centimeter cube into pounds per inch cube. So grams into pounds, centimeter cubes into inches cube. Okay, let me copy my 45 grams per centimeter cube. That's our starting of the problem. And of course, in this case, conversions needed for this example. Let's glance at the conversions. Once again, you're welcome to start with centimeters to cube to inches cube, but I'm just going to start from top down. Grams to pounds, okay? Either way works. So grams to pounds. Let's glance down. Where do we see grams and where do we see pounds? Pounds for sure we can see here. Pounds to ounces, that's one particular location. Grams we can see here. Grams to milligrams. Kilograms to grams. But pounds to grams in the conversion between metric and US customer is here. So there it is. We can see the conversion. So let's take a screen clip and we'll paste it up above for our example here. So remember to put a 1 if it helps you visualize that you can always have a 1. If there's no units, you can still put a 1 under, okay? So let's multiply in a unit fraction, and finally copying and pasting, I should say. My 1 pound is equivalent to 453.6 grams. Great. Let's now go ahead and copy them down. So let me rewrite them first. 1 pound is equivalent to 453.6 grams. And let's remember that we're trying to convert grams into pounds. So it means grams are on the top. I want grams on the bottom again so that they all cancel each other out. So let me move the grams first, and there they are. And then pounds, therefore, are going to go to the top. So grams on top, grams on the bottom, they cancel each other out. So there we go. We cancel them. Once again, we don't cancel the numbers. Okay, going for the next one. We're going to go from 1 inch into 2.54 centimeters. Whew. Since we have inches and centimeters. We had previously used this one up above, right? This conversion, 1 inch to 2.5 centimeters. Here's the reason why I kind of already had it there. So be aware of that. Okay, so what do we do now, though? Let's start with a unit fraction once again. When in doubt, continue writing your unit fraction. It'll come to you. Okay, there it goes. Since we now have our unit conversion, okay, in this case 1 inch to 2.54 centimeters, we have centimeters cube on the bottom, so we want centimeters on the top. So let me write them out. But in this case, let's realize they're regular centimeters. So even if, as I bring them down, if I try to cancel centimeters with centimeter cubes, I would still remain a centimeter squared on the bottom here. That won't work. But let me still continue to bring down the inches. So how do I get them to be equivalent? Well, in the very first case scenario for A, we learned that we could always square them to get them to be equivalent in size, right? So in this case, rather than square them, because that would be area, we can actually cube them. So let's cube the units in this case. And what we do to the top, we must do to the bottom, otherwise we're changing the values. Okay, so distributing the cube to the 2.54 and the centimeters. Keep in mind, you can do this on your calculator. In this case, we get 16.387 centimeters cubed, if you're wondering how we got that. Well, just turn on your calculator, clear anything you might have, and put 2.54, so 2.54, carry key right below your clear button, okay? Carry key 3, unless you can find the cube on your calculator if it has one right available. Okay, so hit enter, and there it is. There is the value that we get. And of course, we can go 1 cube, 1 carry key 3, and hit enter, and we should get 1, right? Because 1 times 1 times 1 is still 1, no matter what. Okay, so I'll put a screen clip here for you, that way you can visually see this. But do keep in mind, I have a tendency to cross off the bottom conversion, since I won't be using that as a multiplication, because I converted that to cube units, which now the correct unit is 16.37. But there's my screenshot for you, that way you can have it for reference. And let me convert this one, which is once again 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And then inches cubed on the bottom. And I'll cross off the 1 inches to the power of 3. So that I'm not tempted to use that one as a multiplication by accident. Not that it would affect it because it's just 1, right? But if we get in the habit of doing this in the right format, it gets really, really easy actually. Okay, so our next step now. Let's go ahead and cancel our centimeter cubes with centimeter cubes, since now they're equal in size, right? Centimeter cubes are now able to cancel each other out, leaving us with inches cubed now. So we went from centimeter cube to inch cube. Hey, and we thought this was going to be harder than the previous problem, right? Well, it wasn't as hard as you thought. So we're practically done. We've already converted grams to pounds and centimeters cubed to inches cubed, since we found a pretty direct route other than having to cube them. Okay, so now it becomes a calculator issue. 45 times 1 times 16.387, and we multiply that out on our calculator. There you go. 737.415. Type out our unit fraction, meaning just a straight line, and write our number. Okay, 737.415, and units on the top that didn't cancel were pounds. We didn't cancel pounds, so our units are pounds. On the bottom, everything canceled except for inches cubed, so 453 times 6, pardon me, 453.6 inches cubed. So notice 1 times 453 times 1 will give us 453.6, right? 453.6, that is, I should have said. Okay, proceeding on. Now we're just going to divide on a calculator, 737.415 divided by 453.6, and it should give you the right value of 1.625694, so on and so forth. But we're going to round this one to 2 decimals once again. Highly recommend you ask your instructor how many decimals they want, or take a look at your problem and see how many decimals are needed. Okay, our final units. Remember, at the top, all we have remaining are pounds, agreed? So pounds are the units, and then inches on the bottom, so pounds per inch cube. Here we go. Hey, I may have skipped this in the previous problem, but I'll come back in a minute. So in this case, this is our final answer, 1.63 pounds per inch cube. Where could you see those types of units? Do you have a water bottle by any chance next to you? So notice inch cube means it's volume, and pounds is weight, right? So it's weight per unit of volume. So this could be talking about density, what the density of water is, for instance. It's not necessarily the density of water, but just as an example. Any type of density or any type of weight per unit of volume. So glancing back at our previous problem that we did in the previous video, centimeters per second. Where would you see those types of units? Centimeters per second. How about speed? When you're on a freeway, you talk about miles per hour, but you could literally convert them into centimeters per second if you choose to, right? That would be very fast depending on what type of vehicle you have, right? So it could depend. If you're on a horse and buggy, it might take you a little bit longer, but if you're on a fast running car, it could take you a lot quicker, or you'll see a larger number as well, mathematically. Okay, so I'll stop here for this video and continue on our next video.